So we are actually going to start this now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to, I believe, episode 4 of the Wine and Bitch podcast.
I'm pretty sure this is the episode where we get discovered.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, number 4. It's lucky number 4.
Lucky number 4.
Yeah, that's how people do it. This is it, guys. We got to make it a good one.
I think you're right.
What is it?
Well, by making it a good one, there were two options coming in today's episode. I believe I know which one was picked, but option 1 was Sierra just audibly teaching us how to make a cake. I'm gonna guess she's not in the state of mind to do that right now based on how we started this episode. And
I'm always up to bake a cake.
And option 2, also suggested by Sierra, was the thoughts you had when you were younger that are just not true, ended up not being what you'd expected, or have since changed, because obviously perceptions as a child are different than the reality of the situation. Yeah. So, Sierra, I don't know if you had a plan or hope of where this would go. I literally just jotted down a few that I knew were kind of things I had experienced and whatnot, so didn't know if you had ideas.
I mean, Shelby, to quote Friends, I don't even have a pull-up.
Oh, God.
But, what else would you expect from me? If you said that you've had some jotted down, I say we just kind of go for it. Let's each take a turn and give me your one, and then obviously comments if you have the same, because I feel like a lot of them end up being similar for people. So, Shelby,
oh Lord,
start us off.
Okay, I'm scanning. I don't want to take the one you used as the example, because I really want you to just say it exactly how you said it in our text.
No problem.
So I won't say that. Oh God. Okay, mine are kind of serious, so I couldn't really on the spot think of any funny ones because I wrote this down 10 minutes ago. But anyway, I feel like a big thing, and I still witness this happen, is when these are kind of too tied together. When younger kids think that a few years from where they are right now, they'll have everything together. It's only hard where they are right now, but give it 2 years when I'm 16, it'll all be so much easier and it'll all be figured out. Oh wait, no, okay, so 16 didn't work out. Maybe 18. Yeah. 18, I'll be an adult. It'll be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Which obviously I think is just at a point you realize you're never gonna reach this point of I did it.
Basically, it's so sad because what you're saying is life is only downhill.
It's not only
That's what I got out of that.
So I kind of tied this into something else, because it's we always just look forward to the next thing as a kid. It's always just achieving that next landmark, whether it's an age or or a year in school or whatever. And I think it's at one point you realize you kind of just have to appreciate the moment for what it is. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be probably what you imagine, but if you can just kind of laugh it off, enjoy it. And I feel you don't understand that thought process until you're older.
Yeah, I would fully agree with that.
Because as a kid, if you would have told me that oh, just enjoy the now, I'd be fuck off. It's shit.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard that Thomas Rhett song? It's literally, I can't even think of the name of it right now.
Oh yeah, wait.
I was
I think it's called 16. I think it's just called 16, where he's I'll be right where I want to be.
21. Yeah. I love that song.
And all I keep thinking about right now is when I was 16, I was oh, cool, I can drive, but I have to have a parent in the car, and I have to be home by 11. And then I was oh, I'm 18, this is sick. Look at me cruising around town after 11. And I'm yeah, but I want to drink.
Yep.
And then after you were 21 and nothing else fun happens in your life, and you turn 23 and you're just oh, well, this just fucking sucks. I wish I was 16 again, or 18 or 21.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums
You were wrong.
Yeah, basically.
It's just because it's such big milestones of freedom of these 3 ages. Yeah. And then after that, you're kind of excited so for money and having a real life and real job. And then you're wait, I'm this also just, not that life sucks. I mean, I'm very happy with my life.
Yeah. But oh, I have a job, I get to make money, but oh, I have to pay rent now. I have to buy food. This was not part of the deal.
Yeah. For sure. I almost feel like people still, in a way, a lot of people still struggle with that, with like the next stage, but it just after a point, it doesn't come down to age. It comes down to like what you have and don't
Yeah.
have.
Like if you're living in an apartment
or
and
maybe
like want a house.
Yeah. Exactly. And like maybe that's just a thing for like 20s. Like that's probably a big thing for our age group because it's like some people took the leap and some people were like, no, I'm gonna save up money, like stay with my parents for a bit. Like, I mean, like we have friends who've done both and like there's nothing wrong with either. It's just like whatever the situation is. But like I know that I have a friend who consistently is like, oh, just like once I have a place, it'll all be figured out. And all of us who have places are screaming, like, no, that does not fix any of your problems. Like, does it make your life probably more what you want? Absolutely. Does it give you freedom? Absolutely. Does it come with a shit ton of responsibility? Absolutely. Like, it adds so much, like, to every plus you get, there's always going to be a con, basically.
And I think also that the older you are, the more you get that. So that's why, like, when you're younger, being older looks so appealing because you only see the pros. Like, you know the cons, but like not really. Then as you get older, you like really understand that, like, yes, I love this, but it also is going to come with this, but like that's okay.
Right. Like I want an animal every day of my fucking life. But
you have Spencer.
I have oh yeah, I forgot. But I have friends who got a cat who is like the coolest cat in the fucking world and she's awesome and a lot of fun and friendly, but has so many medical issues that like to even think about trying to afford that and like you want to be able to like I know it's dramatic, but like you want to be able to give your animal like it's your responsibility like the best life possible. And it's like that I feel horrible like they've had to deal with that and like they're fine and whatever, but like thinking like I would not be able to handle that. So it's like put a bit of reality back into my situation of like, okay, but like you need to be able to like afford if there's something that happens to this animal. Like it cannot just be get an animal and be excited about it.
Look at you being so mature in your decisions.
Oh, I try. I promise you, if I didn't have these friends, one, I can't get an animal in this apartment, but two, if I was in a place that allowed animals, it would be a much, much harder thing for me to rationalize that if I wasn't hearing from my friends like their firsthand experiences they've been dealing with the past few months.
Do you remember how close you were to getting a cat? Oh my god! You literally were like, we were like, let's go right now. I think Spencer was at work, and you were like texting him like, we're gonna go get a cat, and he was like, oh my fucking god.
That might have happened. I would fully believe it. I almost in high school I was looking at animals and was like borderline like telling my parents I was just gonna go pick one up. I've done this so many times and I totally can believe myself doing that because literally I did that in high school. But additionally, these same friends who now have a cat with medical issues were out in Pittsburgh and we went to like a cat sanctuary. Cat cafe. And I almost put in the papers to adopt one right on the spot. I had it completely filled out and just had to sign it. And then Spencer was like, this is not smart. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's going to be so fun. It's going to be awesome.
But Kitty.
And we like literally got in this full-blown fight. Our friends were like, oh God. It started the like mom and dad need to go have a conversation. Like they now joke about that all the time because literally we got in a fight over me in the moment adopting a cat.
Honestly,
while they were out there. So, and now... Oh, absolutely. It would have made looking for apartments up here 1,000 times more difficult. Oh my God. But yeah,
so part of seeing different ages has been perception.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone else?
You said a lot of what I was thinking. I would say for me, I feel like I would say especially through like middle school and high school mostly, I just always wanted to be like older. And I think one, because like the milestones, but also because I always grew up with older sisters and like I hung out with their friends a lot. And they literally like drilled into my head, like, act like you're our age. Like we won't let you hang out with us if you act young. So I was always just like, I want to be older. Like I always like envision the older crowd like so cool and hip, which I am not at all. So I feel like through like middle school and high school.
And she says hip.
Yeah. I thought that was a fine word. Okay, whatever. So and then especially then I feel like once I was like in college, like that was almost my threshold I needed. Like that was like where I was like, oh, like okay, not everything's all hyped up as it's like things you think it is. But then obviously the threshold I really was just waiting for was the 21. But that was just for like legal or logistical purposes, not legality. Well, partly legality.
No, for legality.
For legality and logistical. That wasn't like a need. That was more of that wasn't a want. That was a need. But yeah, I feel like for me it was always just like the older crowd seemed really cool, and then like college time, I was kind of like, oh no, cool, I'm good here. That's nice.
Yeah, I can get that. I feel like it's like it's a really hard time to like find your crowd essentially. Yeah. Especially depending on your influences. Yeah, growing up. I mean, because outside, like, I mean, I was the older sibling, so I didn't really interact with people older than me in terms of like kids, but like I was always around my parents' friends, which is like probably weird, but like so I always was just like, I would just, hear probably things you weren't supposed to hear at certain ages and all that shit. So it was just like a lot of things. And it was always something that I thought was like super exciting. Like you felt like you were on the in, like getting anything from someone who was older. And so it's almost like, and also just because even though you're all like in the same year in school, everyone's at like such different places with maturing and everything. And I feel like that's something that can be very like person to person. Like I always felt like, not that I think I'm the most mature person, but in certain situations, I would just be like, oh my God, everyone around me is so fucking immature. Like I can't deal with like the bullshit that's going on right now. Just because like high school is very, dramatic and like whatnot. And so I feel like a lot of that with aging is like understanding like how to find your people and how it can be people from all different areas you don't expect. And I almost feel like that's something you learn as you like expose yourself to different age groups.
I definitely agree. Yeah. Especially I feel like now, like, so like Charlotte's a pretty, I mean, it's a very young crowd here. Like I'd say everyone's in between 20 and 30, but you see a lot more like mid 20s to late 20s. Like there's not too many like recent grads out here yet. But so yeah, I feel like like always when I said my age, especially when I was 22, because I was still meeting a lot of people at 22, and everyone was like, wow, like you're so young, like I'm 26. And I was like, yeah, I know I am, but also like we're at the like that. Then we all realized that we were still friends because we're at the exact same stages of life. Like we're doing the same things right now. So I feel like it's definitely like once you hit like 21, maybe 22 threshold, it's like as long as it's like what stage of life you're kind of thing before Shelby.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that exact thing happened in Boston. Like, I mean, like before everything got shut down, we got to go to like Spencer's, like a company party, and everyone we talked to was like 25, 26 to like maybe 28, and they all like had apartments and had this, and they were like, oh, and like, but I used to live in this neighborhood, but now I live in this neighborhood, and like it sounded like I was talking to full-fledged adults. And even though I also had an apartment and also was living here, I felt like such a child for like 30 seconds because everything they were saying, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just like everything we talked about, I was like, I know I can relate to you, but it's still just like overwhelming right now. It was so weird.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Fun times.
Oh, well, yeah, let me read the example I gave when I was trying to get the girls on board with this. And I just want to say for the record, this is not an accurate description of a real life event for me.
No, I expected this to be. Think I'm a loser. No, I figured this was like exact picture of what happened, and I was like, this was Sierra's experience.
I mean, it really could have been, but like, I'm not going to admit to it.
Okay.
All right, I'm not admitting it. It may or may not have.
Right.
But I was like trying to explain to them this, this concept that I had in my head. So I used the example of something like your first kiss. When you're young, you think it'll be so great. But in reality, when it comes time for that, it was terrible. And your braces got caught together or you threw up in his mouth. And it's just totally different than what you envisioned. Which I think accurately sums it up, quite honestly.
It does, but also if someone has ever vomited in someone else's mouth.
That was like, I'm just so confused where you even get like that. I would never associate first kiss or any kiss and vomit in your mouth.
Oh. I mean, of course you would never think it, Mir, because that's never ideal. It's never what you envision for a moment as big as your first kiss. You think that doves are going to be released at sunset and rose petals are covering the ground. But in reality, You were drunk and you vomited it in his mouth.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Again.
That was exactly...
This is not real life.
That definitely was exactly what I hoped for as a kid, you know? I think that was like in my diary. Like, dear diary, I hope my first kiss is magical and then I maybe vomit a little bit.
And then it made me vomit a smidge.
The braces I get.
It just, I don't know, it seemed to really capture what I was going for here.
It was hysterical how you introduced it. It definitely captured what you were going for. And I read it out loud to Spencer and then went down a rabbit hole of all the things that could go wrong with braces. And because Spencer's never had braces, I don't know if he, yeah, he somehow has like the worst teeth in terms of like strength and like calcium and all of the other issues, but they're perfectly straight.
Dang.
Yeah. What a bitch.
Right? I know, like a dentist will look at his teeth and be like, oh no, but never had to get anything moved, straightened, never had a single problem with that. Whereas like everyone else in the world is like, let me be in pain for 8+ years of my life and hate all of it.
Yeah,
and
you
have
can't
really
trust
embarrassing
somebody
pictures.
who's never had braces.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm trying to get out of here. We'll see. But so I was like explaining to him like one, all the different parts of braces because he literally like didn't know it, and then two, I was like everything that could go wrong depending on what type of braces you have in your mouth, and it just sent me down a rabbit hole. And I was like, wait, but I was like, what if you have like bands and like they're like towards the front of your mouth, like they're kind of on your like your fangs teeth. I don't know what they're called, and. Yeah, and I was like, what if you're like trying to like make out with someone and they like snap and like hurt the person's tongue? Like, how do you respond to that? Like, is it like you try to play it cool or is it like what the fuck do you do? And I was like, or if you have was it called the Herbst?
You vomit,
You vomit. Yeah, what if you just vomit? Or if you have was it the Herbst appliance where the bars on the sides?
No, I
like the metal bars. I had those.
I don't remember the name.
I think it's that. That's like name is sticking in my mind, but I can't remind. Oh no, it's that because those are the bars, like the big metal bars on the sides that basically are like permanent rubber bands. I had those for like a little over a year, and with those, if you open your mouth too wide, they can lock.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I was like,
that could be an issue for certain things.
You're getting
how long
a whole new meaning to lockjaw.
Or how early were you doing this thing?
Okay, no, I mean this did not happen to me.
I'm just clarifying the timeline.
What was this? Okay, I had my braces out
last year.
I got my braces out a couple days ago. So no, I had my braces out before all of the things. Okay. I'll just say that. I believe I had my first kiss with braces, but I got them off within the first couple months of that relationship, I believe. So I didn't have to deal with any of this other shit. This was just my brain going off, being like, what could happen? But yeah, so any like literally laughing and you open your mouth too wide, your jaw would get locked. Like that shit happened to me. And so again, I was like, what if you're really making out or doing something else? You know, who knows? And for some reason you just really open your mouth wide and you're locked. And then it's like the only way to unlock it is to like put your finger in the back of like your mouth and like push it back in. That's literally the only way to unlock it. So it's like, are you like, wait, you're like, you can't talk because your mouth can't close. And you're like, give me a minute. And you're like putting your hand down your, it's a whole thing.
That is such a turn on.
Yeah, at that point, I'd just be like, you know what? I don't think this is working.
My mom's on my
maybe we'll try again in a couple years.
Not again. No, I just had
oh my god.
But yeah, so I went down that rabbit hole.
And I got that. Yeah, you guys know those are. So you know how you can't really talk correctly the first however long because like it's like in your mouth. Mm-hmm. So I got it the night before 6th grade, and I didn't know anyone going into my 6th grade. And everyone, no one made fun of me to my face, but I hadn't had friends for a while in middle school. Then there was one time where I was like, fuck orthodontists, and I was chewing gum because I loved gum as a middle schooler. And then it got stuck in my expander like during class. And I was like, oh my god, my orthodontist and my mom are going to kill me. Like, fuck. So then I spent like the next hour in the bathroom trying to pick out all the gum. So it was pretty hot. So no making out stories, but those are my horrific braces.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any making out stories with braces because at the same time that I had braces, I was also undergoing a lot of oral surgery,
Oh.
so I had a lot of teeth
The
missing,
braces are very
and
helpful if you're
no boy wanted to kiss me. Well, so like the braces would go over where the
so
teeth are
sad.
because
Yeah.
like I don't know, to like sum it up, basically my teeth like were either growing behind my baby teeth, so I had 2 rows of teeth, or they were
Right.
like not growing, like coming out like they needed to. So
Mhm.
they pulled all these teeth and then they basically like cut my teeth out of my gums
Oh
and
my
wired
God.
them
Yeah.
to start pulling them out. So, in conclusion, I looked like a freak.
Oh.
So no boy wanted to look at me, let alone put his mouth on that monstrosity. So,
And that's where the
no issues there.
Man, and we
Yeah,
wonder
yeah.
why we all hated our lives so much.
We
Right,
wonder
why we
middle
were
school
looking forward
was
to being
such
16.
hell.
a
Those
hell.
stories right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was just like anything. It was just the fact that I know this isn't like a perception thing, but it was like just when you're that age, everything matters. Like absolutely everything on this planet matters, and it's the most exhausting and annoying thing ever because like regardless, because like people are just assholes.
Yeah.
People need to make fun of you
Oh,
for some
God.
reason, for whom even knows what, and it's like you're awkward and like things are uncomfortable all the time and you just don't know what's going on. Oh my God, it was the worst. I remember for like a year I had an allergic reaction to my toothpaste, but we couldn't figure out what I was having an allergic reaction to for like months. And I would just get these rashes around my lips. And so like people were like calling me the Joker because they like literally my entire like face would like turn red around my lips and it would all get really crusty and like my skin would peel off and like sometimes I would get bumps and like it was really gross. I would like literally I can remember how like upset it would make me, and finally we just like figured out a bunch of shit and like switched I like had a what's like something, I don't even know what it was. I had to like start using natural toothpaste. Like whatever artificial shit is in toothpaste, I had like a couple years like intolerance of it. But then it like I outgrew it. It was super weird. I have no idea what that was about. But it was just the worst time ever because people would be like, "Oh my God, Shelby has herpes," which like that was a thing because like we were in high school, so it was all like, "Ooh, does
Oh, of
someone?" Yeah,
course.
right. And it was just like I'd have to be doing something with someone to get that, so that wasn't even happening. It was just like this whole thing. Oh my God, it was just like all the shit like that. The like, not saying if that happened today, it's not like you'd like look in the mirror and be happy, but like it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
And I will forever appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, plus 13-year-old girls, like middle school girls, I'm 23 years old and I'm still scared of them. They're mean.
They're so mean.
I don't want to walk past a group of middle school aged girls because I know that they are going to find something derogatory to say about me, and that'll be their whole day.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, "Do you remember that like ugly ass girl in the sheets today?" And I'm just gonna be like, "Hey guys, that's me."
Yeah. But
they're mean. They're terribly mean.
They're so mean, and I don't
So
remember
it sucks when you grow
that
up like
being
that.
a thing that heavily when I was that young, but it easily could have been, and I just wasn't aware of it.
Oh, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, my friends and I never, like, we were never really mean. Not, like, obviously, I can say that thinking in my own little bubble, and maybe people thought that we were terrible people.
Yeah.
But we were never, like, talking about people like that. But I know girls that I grew up with who were.
You're right.
And I'm just like, and those were the girls where I'm like, I don't want to be by them today. They are going to mock me and my double row of teeth. And like, you just knew it. You just knew it.
Yeah.
And even now, you can tell that like, oh, these are the pretty popular girls in middle school, and they are about to tear me to shreds. And I am 23.
Everyone was just like so judgmental. That's the thing. Yeah, I was definitely judgmental.
Being
Like
judgmental was like cool.
I would definitely judgmental. It was though, which is so stupid. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I was ever outwardly mean to someone. I easily could have been, honestly. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like these girls are mean to like people's faces, but like judging them behind their back.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's just like, you know, somebody's judging you.
I'm
like, See, me, I knew I was too much of a freak to judge anybody because really, what was I gonna say?
Yeah, I think that was always my stance, is like I feel like I went through so many awkward uh what is that? Oh my God, like stages.
Yeah.
I really fell like in and out of like, I mean, see, I'm going to assume yours is kind of similar. Like you kind of just fall between groups when your school's that small and you've all known each other forever, yet somehow groups still form. And I don't know how that's possible because everyone knows everybody, but somehow that still happens. And so it's like 1 year you're cool, the next year you're trash, and then this year like it's like every year just like one thing can happen and it can everyone like looks at you differently, even though it doesn't take into account the past 10 years of knowing you. And so it literally felt like I was like in every single like part that you could be in, except I was never a jock. That I avoided the fuck out of. But anyway, so, but it just like constantly felt like you could be in like every single thing. So I remember by the time I was like ready to graduate high school, I think I just hated everybody because I was like, we've all gone through every single like where you could be, and yet we're still assholes.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not look back and be like, wow, at one point, like, literally everyone hated me. And then at this point, everyone loved me. And then this point, like, wow, maybe I had like 5 minutes popularity. And it's like, you've been in like probably every point, and yet you can still look back and be like, oh, but now that I'm not like a loser anymore, like, fuck these losers.
Fuck these losers. Yeah.
And it made me hate everything.
And now Shelby's cool again, and she's like, you know what?
LOL.
I hated all of you.
Podcast with her.
Nah.
F you losers.
We're just lucky to
come
be
next
here.
week. Come next week, we probably won't. She'll replace us with the cool kids,
Oh
with the hip kids.
God. No, absolutely not. I think I just made it, by the end of high school, I made it my mission to like make the popular kids' life hell.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's really,
That kind of was my mission. Yeah, actually. It was something that motivated me on a day, but
it didn't in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I like to think about it. I'm like, if I was mean to anyone, it was definitely to someone who was considered cool, because they just made me angry. Because they were definitely mean to people who weren't considered cool.
I get that.
Yeah. Very passionate middle school, high schooler who was like, the underdog wins.
The underdog.
Yeah, it's oh my God, so many things.
I love it.
I am the underdog. I'm trying to think of anything else though. I mean, I feel like any quote first time experience was so fucking weird.
Oh, for sure.
Because you drum up all this excitement.
You think it's gonna be like glamorous.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Guys, my first kiss was after a baseball game, like a legit baseball game. Yeah, we went on a date to no, not Little League.
Like MLB.
Well, not really. Like a double A.
Well, wait, maybe not MLB. It was like triple A. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We were almost there. Okay, it was closer than going to see a real one.
Yeah.
And we don't have to drive like an hour. But
so this was a date. You were on a date.
It was a date, but we weren't old enough to drive ourselves, so we were there
Naturally.
with his mom.
So weird to think that, like, your parents were everywhere.
I love it.
Oh, that's crazy to think about. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like on dates and shit. Like literally, they were a member of a date. Like that was what occurred,
and, like, even just,
and
like,
that
friends
was normal.
Out, like,
and I
always
just
and
there.
everyone on a date.
It's so funny to think
oh my
about.
God.
Anyway, go ahead with your story.
Yeah. All of the annoying shit they had to hear, that like if I even hear now, I like lose my patience with kids, and it's like my parents heard that for years.
Not just like drop you off?
If it was like to a friend's house,
they stay there.
They would leave.
Stayed.
But like if we like went to a baseball game or like went to a water park or something, like they had to come with us.
Yeah, they were there.
Oh,
you guys didn't have
see, we had no. Okay, never mind. Then this is different.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I forgot. You just hang out in the cornfield.
My parents were there. No, but now I see. I see.
No. Yeah. Sorry, this was like
having different.
This was like a baseball game. Like if I just would have been going
like a real
to, like
one, yeah.
Like if I would have been going to Little League, absolutely, I would have been dropped off, because then like my mom just would have gotten like groceries or like some bullshit, because she's like she doesn't want to watch the game. But Yeah, so
or her daughter make out with a player.
LOL if you thought I was doing that at this point in my life.
Shelly's under the bleachers just macking on the team.
Yeah, that was me. That was me always. But so it was after the baseball game, it was all fun, and we're like going to leave, and this is always weird. Okay, I don't know when it's like your parent drove you, and then it's like you and your significant other or a friend. It feels weird when it's your parents driving and you both get in the back seat. That like you don't also get in the front seat, like the child, you know? Am I the only one who feels that way? Like if it was me and my mom and a friend, I would be in the front seat with my mom and my friend would be in the back, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That didn't happen. He like got in the back seat and I immediately was like, this is fucking weird. I mean, of course I'm like, oh, this is exciting, but also it's fucking weird because like it feels weird that like your mom's kind of still here because I know she can hear everything, but like it's also dark and it's weird and I feel weird. And so we're like sitting in the back of her truck, we're driving home, whatever. He texts me. He's sitting, first off, he's sitting in the middle seat so that he can sit next to me.
Classic.
Yeah, he's putting on the move. He texts me and goes, is it okay if I kiss you?
Yeah, asking for consent.
Oh my god.
Before consent needed to happen.
And it's in like to a T. It's like to a T texting language. It's like, is it okay if I
we had flip phones and you had to pay per letter.
Like, exactly. And so it was like this really short if I text you, and I like literally like froze up because he like sees me open it because he's right fucking next to me, and I just like at this point I'm like panicking. I like want to die, and I like put it. Oh, I also didn't say I was super weird about people coming near me in PDA and people coming in contact with me at this point in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not a hugger of a person. More so was if people like touched me, it like freaked me out. I don't know why. I was just that person. And so I was like kind of freaking the fuck out. And I like put it on my phone and I looked at him and I like didn't know what to do. So I just nodded. And then the shortest peck of my life occurred. And I was like,
oh my god, he did it right in the back seat.
Yeah,
whoa,
I mean,
girl, you are
but like she could probably see what was happening.
Oh my god,
her crazy
the balls on this kid
right there. Yeah,
that kid had
in front of his
balls
mom?
of steel.
It was so fast. It was so fast. I questioned the reality of it.
Did he miss?
No, but I remember not.
Yeah, it probably felt like a grandma's kid.
Oh my god.
I mean, kind of. Also, just because like I had never thought about what lips feel like, and they're really mushy.
That's the part you didn't like out of being in the car with his mom and he texted you. You didn't like that his lips were mushy.
Yes.
You're basically making like a very soft porno in the back seat, but Shelby's like,
I didn't firm enough against mine.
I know, it was just the weirdest feeling, and it wasn't at all like I pictured it feeling like, and I was just like, that was kind of gross, and I didn't like it. And then we dated for 2 more months.
Oh. Did it ever happen again? Did you guys kiss again?
Yeah, because then it turned into that thing where like you're supposed to kiss every day after school so you can say goodbye to your boyfriend. Which I again was passionately against, but because I had boyfriend and he wanted to do that, I was like, well, I feel like an asshole for just going, I don't want to kiss you, dude. Like that feels wrong. Like, and it's nothing against him. I just didn't want to do it. But then I like felt bad. So oh god, I felt like such an ass. I would rush it so fast. I would just be like, Peck, okay, gotta go, bye. I don't want to. It was like a thing all the time. And of course my friends are like, ooh, you're kissing someone. And of course there were people who like made out next to us. And I was like, we are never doing that. We are never doing that in public ever. Like I'm so against it. It grosses me out. I don't know why. I'm still kind of weird about it.
No.
And
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so I felt so bad because it was literally nothing against him, but I could tell he kind of thought it was something against him, and I immediately was just like, I dealt with it for like 2 months, kind of like skirting around, like not wanting to kiss him, but like trying not to hurt his feelings, and then finally I was like, this isn't working.
What a time.
Bitch, bye.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then 2 months later, he showed up to my birthday party unannounced and gave me an expensive fucking necklace.
Dang.
So that was a fun time.
Oh my god, you love it.
Oh yeah, because
he's still caught up on her.
No, absolutely not. It was such a weird time. Me and dating was such a weird time.
I get what you mean with PDA though. Like it's a freaky thing.
Yeah, it kind of
And I
grosses
feel
me
that
out.
way now. And I don't know if it's just because like I'm used to people like I don't know, from a small town, like you know somebody somewhere. Somebody's gonna see it, somebody's gonna tell your mom, and then you're screwed. And I still remember it was like probably 6 months or so ago. The guy I'm seeing is like leaving my house. And you know, it's just normal. And he goes to say goodbye and he kisses me on my front steps. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, what is wrong? I'm like, you just like kissed me outside. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what if somebody saw that? He's like, yeah, what if somebody saw that? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, people don't know me here. Nobody's gonna tell my mom.
Oh my God.
And then 2 months later, he did the same thing leaving, but this time my friend was pulling up, so she rolled the windows down and, you know, did that whistle. And I was like, okay, so she's gonna tell my mom, and this is how that happens. It was great. But I was just like, I don't know, PDA still freaks me out. It just who's watching? Who's gonna see?
Yeah, I don't even think it was like who's gonna see. It's just like something I don't care to show off.
Yeah, I don't know, because again, it's a private thing. That's just a private thing.
Yeah, I mean at this
you
point,
want to do a little kiss on the sidewalk?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
a little peck is fine.
I agree.
But when I'm like seeing people's hands like on somebody's ass, push them up against the wall, I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Go to your room.
Did you not? You're just on the sidewalk instructing people to go ground themselves.
Go to your room.
Did you guys not have like the parade of couples after school, like making out because they acted like they were never going to see each other again?
School. Shelby, I went to a Catholic school. Do you think a nun would have?
Mine was more like in the hallway during
out on the sidewalk or something.
I feel like after school was just kind of like, all right, oh my God, see each other again in the hallway.
Oh man. No, there were like places, like there were places on like at our high school that like you just knew you were gonna pass 2 to 3 couples, like being like, oh, I'll see you tomorrow, as if like you haven't been doing this and I'm just like, God, like get on your fucking bus and go the fuck home. Like no one wants to see this shit, and it would just make me mad and uncomfortable every day. Yeah, there were like 2 to 3 locations that like you would stop and be like, okay, we're saying goodbye here and going our separate ways, but it would be a whole fucking thing. And I was just
I think everyone hated themselves at school, so everyone wanted to get out of there as fast as possible for our school. People were like, I'll see your ass tomorrow. We do not need to
I don't even
yeah.
I don't even think people hugged goodbye in my school. Like you didn't touch each other. Even walking to class together, foot between you. Jesus was between you. Dude.
He's a huge
he's
dude.
Wide.
He's ripped.
He is wide.
I honestly wish.
I can't imagine. I can't even like. No,
because then there was always that one couple who like, which you make it sound like there was more than one, but for me it was always like that one couple who like had to say goodbye before every class they went to, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be 45 minutes till you see her.
How dare you?
Yeah, it was gross. I was not a fan. One of the people I dated, he had previously dated a girl who was one of the people who continuously made out with people all the time, like in public. And so the 1 year that they managed to get into the same lunch was like a super big deal. And so the table they sat at together, they just made out every day. Every day at lunch. What? It was.
What did the teachers do?
If you were like a 30-year-old teacher and you saw these 2 young kids macking on each other, like I wouldn't want to step in between that. No way.
Yeah, I just you roll your eyes. They're probably really
texting like, we need to drink wine tonight. This teenager is getting more than I am.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, as long as nothing inappropriate's coming out, like, you know, parts of bodies, I'm pretty sure they didn't care what the fuck happened. So also could have depended on like who was monitoring. I don't know, but it was a known thing that like these 2 would like make out like every day at lunch, and I gave him so much shit when we started dating. Oh my God, I like never let him live it down that was like a year of his life was he made out in public with her like every day. And I was like, well, it's good, like the whole school just saw you made out with everyone for like every fucking day for 45 minutes. Like, good for you.
I just there's no response to that. I can't even imagine
I
how that,
mean,
like, I
you don't
can't
want to.
picture.
It's really
I have
uncomfortable.
no frame of reference. That is
Oh my
wild
God, no,
that
like
a teacher did
one,
not
it was
immediately
lunch,
break that up.
so that was considered like your time. So like,
wait, yeah, did you guys have school dances?
oh my God, how'd those go?
Did you guys dance
Yeah.
with each other? Yeah, because like I'm just
Oh,
what? Did everyone just
mirror.
bop?
No. So like there was no such thing as grinding. When I got to college and like homecoming happened and I walked in there, my soul left my body.
Okay, well,
I was like, what are these heathens
Then
doing?
senior year homecoming fears
so
out in her
unprepared.
cute little red dress, grinding her way through the crowd.
Grinding was barely a thing when I was
I
in
was
high
like,
school.
hey.
So I don't know if it just took a bit to travel. I have no idea. It was something I knew existed, but like only like, certain people did it. And you were just like, whatever. And then yeah, as soon as I showed up to college and just saw people doing it, I went, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like honestly shocked to my core because I mean, I don't know, high school dances for us, they'd play a slow song and you and your date would dance and it was just like, arms around his neck and his hands were like on your waist and you're like, all right,
and you
this
just stare at
is
each other's eyes
the most
because you
romantic thing that
can't
will
do
ever
anything
happen
else.
to me in my life. And then yeah, or at the
God,
floor, you
that
just
was
kind of
the
like look at
worst.
the floor and then you like look back up at them and sometimes you sing. And then the slow song would be over and a fast song would come back and he would run off and you'd run
Yeah,
back to your girls and you
sounds
guys were just
alright.
jumping. You're just jumping around. And that's it. There was no like fast dancing with a guy unless you were gonna like hold his hand on the side and just
Yeah.
like sway it as you jumped with your crowd of girls. It was just yeah. My going to homecoming, I only actually went sophomore year of college.
Oh.
That was my first
You
time,
went
and that
junior
was
year
a
though, right?
shock.
I remember you went senior
I was
year.
getting teeth done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went sophomore, junior, and senior. I just didn't go to freshman because I had to go home to get my teeth fixed.
Sarah
Yeah,
was still having
hashtag
problems with like
braces life
teeth missing
never
while she's
ends.
making out in college.
Yeah. Again, those stories are from last year.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that was during the phase of my life where I had to take my front tooth off.
I forgot about that.
So, yeah. It was sexy. It was a real cute party trick.
I'm sure.
Boys were wild for it. Yeah. This is all, yeah. So I guess right there, I'll toss that out. That was one of my misconceptions. Watching TV shows and movies that were set in high school. Number one, I thought I was going to go to high school and I was going to be this just beautifully put together young woman. I am just like ready to take on the world. And little did I know that the actors playing these high schoolers were actually in, like their mid-20s.
Yup.
So I don't look anything like that.
The funny thing is,
huge disappointment. Like I am just this like gangly thing. No. I mean, out the window. That miss just huge. That was a huge miss. And then like you just watch these dances and like everyone's all dressed up and it's perfect and amazing and they're at the dance and they're like so in love and then they're like dancing together and I walk into my high school gym
In reality,
yeah,
you had to force a boy to put on nice pants
I was like,
instead of jeans. And it was a fight to get them to show up in the first place. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like standing there for pictures, there's like a foot between us and pictures, and I'm just like, hi. And then we get to the dance, and you'd blink and he'd be gone.
Yup.
And then he was just like a disgusting, sweaty, hot mess, and you didn't want to touch him. And by the time you left, it looked like you had been mugged in a corner. And it really was just nothing that I had envisioned.
It was also just like a weird, dimly lit cafeteria with
yeah.
a few streamers.
Oh. For my freshman year, maybe, but Shelby, when it came to my senior homecoming and I was student council president, I did that.
I'm pretty sure when I became student council president, I got lazier.
I upped the game.
I went, I don't care what you do. And then, oh my god.
I made my theme for it. I decorated the invitations to match the theme, the hallway to match the theme. There was picture booths. Yeah. Well, not like a booth, but like an area where you could take photographs. Yeah.
Good. No, I vividly remember.
Come on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I still left the dance in a
I
sweaty
remember
mess.
decorating for senior homecoming. I like, oh my God, I couldn't have given two shits at that point. I was just like, yo, put the decorations up. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be done. And I was just like, kind of do this here, do this here, do this here. And I like had people doing it. All of a sudden, the teacher slash person who ran social student council came in and was like, this isn't even. This isn't. Redo all of this, do it all. And they're all looking and they're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what? We don't care. Like, this doesn't matter. She like remade people put up streamers at least 3 to 4 times. And I was like, I'm just gonna walk away. This wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Oh my God.
But I like still vividly remember her like flipping out about the streamers. And it, for some reason, just made me laugh really hard. And I was like, this is so unimportant right now.
I remember our team lost the homecoming football game. It was cold and miserable, and people had to come right after the game to set up. And they had to hate me, I'm sure of it. But like they were all my friends, and I was like, all right, you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, so let's get this done and get it right the first time. And they were like, okay. And I got it. My teacher walked in and she's like, are you sure you want this here? And I was like, yep, that's exactly what I want. And I would just walk away. I'm like, you're not questioning me. This is my homecoming dance.
Very different.
Back off. Mrs. Gebauer.
Oh, I left mine.
Well, you know, Shelby, I had to leave my mark on the senior.
I left mine. My legacy was I'm never coming back to this place.
What a legacy.
I think we were like, there's a thing where in the winter, right after you graduate, a couple are hand selected to come back and like do question and answers with the current senior class. And I was asked to come back, and I show up, and my guidance counselor went, I really didn't think I'd ever see you set foot in this building ever again. Like, you hated this place. And I was like, that was accurate. I was like, hey, I'm just here to give a real world take on all the bullshit out there. Oh my God, I thought of, okay, we don't need to go down this loop because it's like rabbit hole, but I thought of another like first experience. First roommates in college. That is something that the media, movies, everything has amped up to be the make it or break it point of college. And so
they
weren't or were?
They were not wrong.
In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I understand it's a very important moment, and I understand it can kind of like change how you see where you're at and how things are going. But also, there is so much more there and so many more people there that like I almost think too much weight is put on it.
Yeah. I was saying they weren't wrong in exaggerating like
good no, definitely. Roommates. That is.
But I agree. That's not like they make it like that's the whole college experience, but I agree.
You, especially girls go in with the mindset that your roommate has to become your best friend or at least a very good friend. And I think that is the worst expectation to ever place, because then it immediately makes so many freshman girls hate what they're doing and like want to stop. And I'm saying that from the perspective of someone who didn't get along with their freshman roommate and then was a CA and had to listen to freshman people bitch about it. So
and then was a
CA. So I'm saying it from both perspectives.
I don't want this to sound bitchy as it is, but like I remember walking into my freshman year dorm, seeing my new freshman year roommate, and just immediately knowing this was not going to work out. I'm like, we are not going to be friends. I don't want to be friends. This is going to be miserable. And it was. And I'm not saying that I was
the 13-year-old,
but like,
oh, absolutely.
I mean, hey, I'm sorry, but like, my mom walked out of the room, and the girl burst into tears, and I was like,
that well.
all right, so this is it, huh? This is it. Yeah. So I felt no pressure to like make it or break it. This is going to be great. I was like, well, so yeah, I'm going to try to avoid you as much as possible.
And you did a good thing, and you made friends, and then it was like manageable.
But, here we are.
But then there's like people who don't do that, aka me freshman year for the most part, and then their whole year fucking blows. And it's literal hell. But yeah, Yeah,
Well,
well,
that's
that's
just because she
because
didn't have the year to
frats
drag
didn't
you to a frat
exist.
party
I was at
that
a
first
Catholic
weekend.
school and I wanted to die. So, yeah, that was a good time. I was at a Catholic school with like 200 other people on campus. So,
Oh, good, good.
quite the excitement happening, let me tell you.
Amazing.
Me too.
Oh,
I try to
yeah.
think about the fact if I
So
wouldn't
glad
have,
you
I don't
transferred.
know if I would have made it. I probably would have thought of dropping out, honestly, and being like, is there another way I can go about this? It's so fun. But no, I think I took the route of I'm going to try and be friends with my roommate, not best friends, because I remember when I finally got who it was, I of course stalked them on social media. And just based off how they, and this isn't how you should judge people, but it's probably a good judgment on most people. Just how they wrote on social media and the stuff they posted, and just like their tone of like speaking, I was like, I don't know if this person and I are gonna get along. Like I was just like, I'm getting some feelings that we are going to just like what is it, like bump heads or whatever. Like I just feel like we're going to get on each other's nerves very easily because
Yeah.
I'm trying to even remember, like I can't remember specifics, but I just remember like getting this vibe that this person's like she like wants to have fun, which like same, but she just kind of seemed like, oh my God, I don't even know like the right words because I think it's just gonna come out worse than I mean it. But like I just had a feeling that like she was kind of sensitive, kind of really dramatic, like really dramatic, and just kind of like had a certain vision of the world that I like probably didn't agree with or was going to stomp all over. And that happened pretty quickly. And it was
But
like,
you love when your gut feeling's always right.
yeah, it was just one of those things where like there really wasn't anything that wrong, but I think we'd like hit this point where we like tried to become like the best of friends. And then it was like all of a sudden one day, which it was like working, it was fine. And it was one of those things where like I had meshed with the group because it was like, well, I'm having fun, we're making do with what we have. But then as soon as I think it was when I went home for winter break, I like had this moment where I was just like, I don't feel like I've been myself for the past 2.5 months of my life. Like I just feel like I became someone to just like not cause problems, if that makes any sense. And like it was like for 2.5 months, oh my God, I became such like I just
Yeah.
like started to like mimic what they did. And I was like also kind of dramatic and like pretended that I didn't really care about school, even though like and yeah, I know I made jokes about procrastinating, but like school is like so fucking important to me. It was just like all these things that I like did to like, oh, like be cool and like make a friend. And then it was just like I had this moment where I was like, that none of that was me. Like not a single thing there was me. And I came back and was like, okay, I'm not gonna like be the person that you want me to be. I'm just gonna be me. And that caused there's so many problems. And then my whole spring semester I wanted to die like every day. It was so fun.
And then you came to RMU.
And then I came to RMU. It was great. Yeah. I basically was already at RMU spring semester.
That's true.
It was great. Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
now I try to just really instill in anyone going to college that your roommate doesn't need to be as important as you think they need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Oh, it's a great time. It's a great time. Also, I feel like CAs and RAs can't help you as much as you think they can. But it's fine.
To that, thinking like,
yeah,
all right, right behind this door is my lifelong best friend. Or you walk in and you're like,
yeah.
do I really have to share a room with a person for an entire like school year? Do I have
No,
to do
definitely.
this? And I feel like people just need to chill with it. I also didn't have the chance to like stalk my roommate on social media because I got a roommate change the night before I left for college,
which, a bit of a panic.
if you know me, sent me into a panic. Because I was supposed to be living. Oh yeah, I was supposed to live with a CA, and like we had talked a lot. She was gonna be a senior, and I was like, yeah, like that doesn't bother me. Whatever. She's like, I have this, this, and this. So you don't have to bring it if you don't want to. And then all of a sudden, the night before, she texted me and was like, hey, just like giving you a heads up. Somebody has like dropped out already, and they try to like give the CAs their own room, so they'll be moving you to like take the place of that girl. And I was like, oh, who? And she's like, yeah, I don't know yet. But when I do, I'll figure it out. She's like, you're on a different floor from me now. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I think I found out like the morning I was leaving for school. what the girl's name was, and I was like,
I
this will
knew it
be fun.
wasn't. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, regardless if you like your freshman year roommate or not, you will end up with some great stories. I mean, you're forced to live with a complete stranger for literally half a year, basically.
Yeah, I almost feel like the likelihood of like totally loving your first roommate is so low. Like the mix of people coming to college, it's like such a jumbled mess of people. How are you going to get someone that you just mesh with?
Yeah, and the people that I remember like did mesh really well with their freshman roommate, by the time they were seniors, they like weren't really friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare that you like are really good friends freshmen and then also like stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like another thing. Like you change like so dramatically. Over whether it's changing or sometimes I think about it more just like understanding what you do and don't want or will and will not put up with. I feel like that's like a big thing in high school and college that you like learn. So especially with friends, it's kind of like, do I actually want to spend time with you, or like am I okay to just be like an acquaintance that like, you know, we like check in on each other every now and then.
Yeah.
But man, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was most of what I had. I had another depressing thing, but we don't have to get into it. And then we basically went through everything else. But, well, if that is all, Sierra, I hope someday in the future you teach us how to make a cake.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just like an audio version of a cooking class. And I'm gonna tell you like, oh, it should look like this. It's gonna look like molten lava in your bowl.
Llama.
And you're gonna be like, yeah, because I've so often seen molten llama, you dumb bitch.
Nice. Like, I'm now just picturing llamas being shot into the sky.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And just like slowly oozing as they're just like down the hill. Yeah. It'll be great. I can't wait.
Honestly, please do. And depending on what it is and what ingredients it will require, I would maybe consider trying to make it in that moment.
Oh yeah, wait, I thought that was the point.
Okay, I figured, but I didn't know exactly how that would work with like the noise of like mixing things and shit, but like we can try it out.
Yeah, maybe we can all like stop talking at that point and then we can cut it out later.
It'll be like, okay, pause for 30 seconds and mix vigorously. But yeah, I feel like that would be super fun. And just like any kind of like super like weird audio description that like definitely should have visuals, but you don't get that.
Yeah.
So I want to think of like if the cake thing works, I want to think of other things.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really funny.
But yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much covered all of our childhood disillusions with life.
Remember when
how you think it'll get better when you're older, but it won't, kids. It sucks.
And you just
it'll
get
never
a castle
get better.
And it would all be done. Can we talk like really little? It sucks and then you die. All right.
Life sucks and you die.
All right. Well, that is all. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. As Sierra said, it's episode 4, so that means now we're gonna blow up. So this is the end. Thank you to everyone for everything. That is that. If you guys have anything else to add,
thanks for listening.
No, just I mean, like we said, this is the episode we get discovered. So like we'll remember you all when we're famous, and we'll catch you on the flippity flip
in the next one.